Well, we have details of these stories and a bit more coming up in the next 20 minutes if you spend your time with me. Remember, you can also get interactive with us. We are live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. On to our very first story. President John Dramani Mahama will meet over 50 civil society organizations later today to discuss sustainable ways of dealing with the illegal mining problem in the country. This meeting is expected to elicit proposals on the most appropriate way of fighting illegal mining in the country, which has destroyed acres of forest reserves and many water bodies. Recent reports indicate that food items from many mining communities have been contaminated, causing fear among citizens over the safety of food brought into the market. The CSOs invited include religious bodies like the Catholic Bishops' Conference, the Ghana Muslim Mission, amongst others, and think tanks like Imani Africa, Eco-Conscious Citizens, Media Coalition Against Galamsey, amongst a host of others, who have all called for the declaration of a state of emergency. It is expected that after the meeting, concrete proposals will be drawn to guide the national fight against Galamsey. Well, the presidential team is already on standby to bring you updates on this very meeting with the president and the CSOs in the country against the fight on illegal mining. If you just tune in, you're watching the morning news here on TV3 with me, Josh Quinn. In more news this morning, farmers at Ahwenase in the eastern region are calling for urgent action against illegal and irresponsible mining, destroying their livelihoods. They are not only losing acres to their farms, but the produce they manage to grow is becoming unsafe for the market.
From Chebi, we traveled to Ahwenase in the Abuakwa South Municipality to meet Prince Frimpong, a smallholder farmer trying to keep his spice farm alive. Just beyond the boundary of his land, illegal mining is ongoing. He and other farmers risk their lives daily, navigating dangerous, dug-up paths around the mining pits just to bring food home and to the market to sell. For the elderly, it is nearly impossible. Many have given up, unable to afford hard labor.
You can just see right behind me the illegal activity that is going on over there. When it rains, all this water will just pass through my farm. When it happens like that, you see some of the plants dying. Okay, so because of this, we are also not getting clean water to work in our farms. So me particularly, say, I find it difficult to now even come here. I've been discouraged. Why? Because this farm last year, you can see I harvested it last year. That is why the leaves are now coming again. And this is hentia. This plant is helps at the same time spice. And I want to tell you that this one feed my family. But at the end of the day, looking at this illegal activity that is going on, my farm is being destroyed.
Cassava grows nearby on reclaimed land, but they are growing fierce. Research shows the soil may contain harmful metals like lead, mercury, and cyanide from mining activities. A recent report by Pure Earth and the Environmental Protection Agency confirmed these fears, warning of toxic contamination in crops and water resources in mining communities.
Getting people to buy. Not that they don't need it, they need it, but they are afraid. Because see, there should be a research indicating that mining communities, there is a threat concerning our food security. Then it means that people will not now become, even they'll be afraid to even buy something like kontomire, something like aberu, and which they think it will affect them.
In Chebi and surrounding areas, communities are struggling. If you do not have a borehole, you rely on rainwater. The Ghana Water Company shut its treatment plant 2 months ago. The Brim River, its source, is now too polluted to use. Meanwhile, the concerned citizens of the Etiwa landscape, led by Paul Esumeku, are demanding a state of emergency.
We manage 52 communities across the Etiwa landscape, yes. And Etiwa is blessed with 3 major rivers. We have Densu, Ayensu, and Brim. Today, we can confidently say that Brim is gone, has been destroyed. Ayensu and Densu, as we say, Densu is supplying water for almost 5 million people in Accra today. And if Densu is gone, how many people are going to be affected?
President John Mahama recently said his administration will not rush into declaring a state of emergency, as there are other state agencies whose mandate it is to act. He has scheduled a stakeholder meeting this Friday with CSOs and religious groups to address growing concerns. And with time running out, the Sustainable Development Goals 7, 12, 13, 14, and 15 call on government to conserve, restore, and protect the environment and halt biodiversity loss by the year 2030.
Meanwhile, as President John Dramani Mahama meets civil society organizations and religious bodies on today on ways to tackle Galamsey, the Domahin has dismissed calls for a state of emergency. Take a listen.
A state of emergency?
No, it has not come to that. Let's look at how much we garner in respect of mining. I mean, once you declare state of emergency, the question is that who can do? If we are not able to get that resources, there will be a gap. How is government going to? So there's a need for us to do it. As for mining, nobody will argue that there shouldn't be mining, but it has to be mined responsibly. That is the whole thing. People who are doing Galamsey, we are destroying ourselves. There's a need to start. I want to appeal, especially as a chief. We, the chief, should not say we don't have the power. If somebody could do it, is in the jurisdiction and not allowing people to do it, why can't you do it? In Doma, if you come there, I'll arrest you and give you to the police so that you'll be prosecuted. I want to appeal to everybody. They should ensure that the people should not engage in Galamsey, because if you do it and you are arrested, you know the consequence for it. It will not be good for all of us.
As the president readies to meet these CSOs, let us know what you make of the illegal mining menace. We are active on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Engage us with your views, your thoughts, reservations on Galamsey. Hopefully you read your comment and share them to the rest of the world. Joseph Akable and Nashiko are ready. Stand by to read all your comments. And our President John Dramani Mahama has urged the newly sworn-in justices of the Court of Appeal to remain steadfast in their commitment to justice and resist the growing wave of public cynicism towards the judiciary. He entreated them to inspire confidence in Ghanaians by their judgment and restore hope in the justice system.
Not merely a ceremony of oaths and robes, the president gave the new Court of Appeal judges the charge.
True faith and allegiance. Criticisms of judgments is not the end of hope. It is the evidence of hope. It shows that Ghanaians still believe in the courts, that justice still matters, and that verdicts have meaning in their lives. What we must guard against is cynicism, the corrosive belief that the courts no longer serve the people, but only the powerful in society. To rebuild trust, our courts must demonstrate in word and deed that justice is not compromised by status, wealth, or political convenience. So to you, our new justices, I say, let your judgments not silence criticism, but inspire confidence in our people.
27 High Court judges elevated to the Court of Appeal with an additional private practitioner numbering 21. The president expressed optimism in the gender card attained with the current appointment.
I'm quite proud of this batch of appeal court justices because, and the reason is that out of 20, we have 9 women. The affirmative action law says 30% of appointments. This one we're beating 30% by far.
He administered 3 oaths for the office, secrecy and allegiance. The appointment of these judges in recent time has attracted criticism from a section of the public. Newly sworn in Court of Appeals judge and Domahini, Justice Daniel Mensah, has described as unjust calls that the president has been packing the courts.
For the first 13 years in my life, I moved 2 places as a High Court judge. For 15 years, I've been at one place. So to say somebody is packing the court, in fact, presently, until today, I was the High Court judge representing the High Court on the Judicial Council. So if you look at the order, I was the second. to say somebody is packing, to me, I think we've been there even for too long. It's not a matter of, packing the court, but I believe that each one of them, about 21 of us, have his own competencies, has his own, the strength that they come up with.
And now the acting Chief Justice, Paul Bafoboni, has admonished judges to fiercely guard against external pressures from every quarter, including political, social, commercial, in order to maintain the integrity of the judiciary. He was speaking at the conference of the Association of Justices and Magistrates here in Accra.
Speaking on the independence of the judiciary, the acting Chief Justice, Paul Bafoboni, noted that there was the need for judges to be consistent in their sentencing while protecting the integrity.
There is a growing public perception that sentences for environmental crimes and drug offenses are either too lenient or inconsistently applied. We must work towards harmonizing sentencing practices to ensure proportionality, deterrence, and fairness. We must fiercely guard our independence from external pressures, be they political, commercial, or social. Our integrity is the bulwark that assures the public that justice is not for sale.
Acting Director of the Ghana School of Law, Professor Raymond Atuguba, called for the use of technology to begin at the school faculties in order to properly leverage it at the court level.
Sometimes responding to change involves stepping back, not moving forward. For example, the use of technology must start from the faculties if justice delivery is to be hinged on it. And the use of technology must animate the entire body of court rules, not be overlaid on it.
On his part, the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Aine, underscored the need for a framework to guide the use of artificial intelligence.
The integration of AI into justice delivery presents opportunities and risks. While AI tools can compress hours of legal research into seconds, their outputs must always be subjected to human scrutiny and verification. Judges and magistrates bear the solemn duty of ensuring that technology supports rather than supplants judicial reasoning. To this end, it is imperative to establish a clear regulatory framework to guide the responsible use of AI in our courts, one that safeguards accuracy, integrity, and public trust in the administration of justice.
The conference, which was themed Leveraging Technology to Enhance Justice Delivery, brought together magistrates and judges across the country.
While you're still watching the morning news here on TV3, and our government has increased the producer price of cocoa from 3,228 Ghana cedis per 64 kg bag to 3,625 cedis per same bag. The decision, which takes effect from today, October 3, was taken by the Producer Price Review Committee, chaired by the Minister for Finance, Dr. Kesel Atoforsin.
Prior to the increment, government announced new prices on August 4, which pushed the producer price of the commodity to 51,666 cedis per ton, or 3,228 cedis 75 pesos per 64 kilograms of a bag. The increment reflected a 62.58% increase from the previous season's price. The new producer price, which takes effect from October 3, gives an additional 400 cedis per bag to the cocoa farmer for every purchase.
On the basis of the changes that we have affected to the forecast, the government has taken a decision to increase the producer price of cocoa to 3,625 Ghana cedis per bag, or 58,000 Ghana cedis per ton. This simply means that per every bag purchase, the cocoa farmer is getting 400 Ghana cedis additional. Simply put, to the ordinary cocoa farmer, since my last engagement on the 4th of August to today, every bag you will purchase, you will sell to Cocoa Board, you'll be getting another 400 Ghana cedis, or 4 million Ghana cedis owed Ghana cedis.
Minister of Finance Dr. Kesel Atuforson also assured that Cocoa Board will continue to implement all interventions to support cocoa production and the welfare of farmers.
Ghana Cocoa Board will continue to implement all the interventions to support the cocoa production and the welfare of the cocoa farmer. In particular, Cocoa Board will intensify the supply of free cocoa fertilizers, both liquid and granular, free insecticides, free spraying machines, and free fungicides, and free flower inducers to the cocoa farmer. In addition, Cocoa Board is on track to implement the new tertiary education scholarship scheme for children of cocoa farmers in the 2026-2027 academic year.
Putting this into perspective, the cocoa farmer gets an extra 400 cedis on every purchase of a 64 kg bag of cocoa. And now a creative young man is changing lives in Ghana by turning used clothes into the artistic works. Based in the trading hub of Kantamanto in Accra, he's diverting over 1 million garments from landfills into new designs. There's more in the following report.
Kantamanto is a trading used clothing hub and is purported to be one of the world's largest second-hand textiles market. Each week, it receives 15 million pieces of used clothing, amounting to some 225,000 tons a year. The Revival, founded by Yayura Agbufa, is a pioneering community-led sustainable design NGO addressing textile waste challenges globally. Based in Ghana, it seamlessly integrates education, awareness, art, and job creation. Through innovative upcycling and recycling initiatives, it has diverted over 1 million garments from landfills and oceans, simultaneously reducing air pollution caused by burning textile waste. He has established the Revival Hub right inside the popular Kantamanto market. They purchase used clothes and turn them into beautiful designs. After many years of working in the shadow, this group of tailors have decided to showcase their handiwork. It was attended by musician rapper Manifest. He said he envisions a future when 20 million garments considered waste are diverted from landfill and the ocean.
We're trying to keep those clothes from polluting our environment through design, through upcycling, where we take these clothes that are meant to be waste and then we upcycle them through various design means. And through that, we create jobs for people here in Kantamanto and in Accra, and then also education, which is very, very important, which are the core of the problem.
Chairman of the Kantamanto Used Clothes Sellers Association, Michael Opon, at Kantamanto is intrigued by the initiative.
We like what he's doing. Sometimes about 70% of our goods go waste. But if there is a way for us to supply to another company who make extra money, he said the used clothes that could go waste is what he prefers.
Creativity at its best, if you ask me personally. But that's how we end the morning news. For more news updates, just log on to our website. It's 3news.com. Alternatively, you can join the team at 12. Keminia Mono and Mawanek Bata on News Central. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming your way. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Thanks for watching. Enjoy morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my people. It's a Pink Friday.
Yeah.
It's a Pink Friday.
Yes.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. You're watching TV3 Newday. It's our favorite day of the week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Friday. It's a Friday. This is the day that the Lord has made. And we are rejoicing. We're glad in it. Among other things, because we're celebrating 28 years of broadcasting excellence. And today is the big launch of our Pink October activities on TV3. That's why we're wearing our lovely pink tees.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's the inscription in it? Check it.
Check it,
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, check it.
I guess it goes for both check it, win it.
Yeah, check
Yeah.
it, win it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, check it, win it. We're encouraging all of us, men and women alike, to take self-breast examination seriously. It's important. We've been told so many times that early detection saves lives, but somehow, more like when you speak to women, they tell you that they don't really do self-checks.
Yeah.
It's I don't understand.
I think it's the fear of it.
It's the fear of it.
I don't want to check because I don't want to know what if that is it. How am I going to manage it? But again, you can't push it away forever.
Yes, I mean, we've come to understand self-care so much in this generation. And we're doing our 5-step skincare routine. We're taking time off. We're doing the things that we believe are self-care. But self-breast exam is also part of self-care. Add it to your self-care routine, your skincare routine, and all of those things. So when you do your 5-step, also check for lumps. While it can be a scary thing, early detection saves lives. And men are also supposed to check, right?
Yes, I've heard that a number of times, and I think this month would have to all be part of the campaign to ensure that we do that. I mean, it's always a part of us that, like you said, you are scared, so you just don't want to know. I mean, there are those who tell you that when you know, it kills you faster than you don't know because of the psychological impact.
Yeah.
But the fact is that we are dealing with a situation where the knowledge of it could save your life or prolong it. And so it's important that you do the check, like we are all urging everyone to do around this time.
Yeah. So throughout this month, we are going to be sharing many tips for self-care, including nutritional tips. Because today we are going to be launching our Pink Kitchen. Our Pink Kitchen is a little space that we have created here at TV3 to bring you nutritional tips on the foods that you can eat to help reduce your risk for breast cancer. We know the risk factors are many from your genetics and other things. But we also know that, like many illnesses, nutrition can play a major role in helping us fight it. So we're going to be launching that today as well.
Yeah.
We have a whole list of activities on the show today. What are we doing on Big Issues?
We are talking about Galamsey. We'll be talking specifically about the president's meeting with the CSOs and the other interest groups, religious bodies. And the question we are asking is, will that bring some finality in terms of the nation agreeing on the steps that we ought to follow to deal with this illegal mining challenge? Then also, if we have if time permits, we'll also talk about the nursing issue. For over the years, we keep on having the challenge where people are recruited into the public service, and for as many as 10 months, they've not been paid. Just imagine for yourself, you are working in a private company that you've been employed and you have to work 10 months, no salary. You wake up in the morning, you have to eat, you have to board a car, you have to get to work and come back home. And through no fault of yours, you are just not being paid. And when you are told, the response you get is that you are even lucky. Because for some individuals, it took them 24 months or more to get paid. And so it's a conversation to be had about how public service recruitments are handled and continuity, just to ensure that, in any private sector, you get employed. And at the end of the first month, you get your money.
Yeah.
And that is just what people deserve. And there's a video that went viral of a nurse who is crying.
Yeah.
You see that video?
Very lovely nurse.
Yes, she's basically in tears. And I watched that video multiple times, and I'm just wondering, what is her crime? She's done nothing wrong. She goes to work every day.
She made a very interesting statement, or instructive statement. She said that the minister has said that they appreciate their efforts. What is she to do with that?
Yeah.
What is she to do with that?
Yeah.
Because she stated that her rent expired on the 12th of August, and her landlord comes to her every day, and he's harassing,
the torment of that alone. Yes.
The fact that she was crying, it really broke my heart, because we go to the hospitals and we expect them to do the most for us. And then we find out that they're trying their best while dealing with all the problems that debt brings on a young person like her, while trying to give you care that could save your life.
We can have a conversation about salary levels, but a very basic thing is that the little you get, it should actually come.
And I'm even just looking at the rippling effect it would have on the kind of services they provide the patients, because if psychologically you're not okay, how are you even going to give off your best, really? So, and it just goes into, it goes on to feed into that conversation about why a lot of people are leaving the country.
But it's a public service problem. And I say so because I remember when President Mahama took over, around after 3 months, he actually had a news conference where he said some amounts of money should be transferred from his account and that of the ministers for the Mahama care. And he actually said that at the time, he had not even been paid. It was about 3 months after he had taken office.
I remember that.
He said that the controller was still sorting it out. And so that shows that there's a systemic problem that ought to be dealt with. And the very basics just should be addressed. I mean, it's not nice to see young Ghanaians willing to serve the nation being subjected to this.
Sometimes they tell you there are a lot of processes, but we should be able to cut down the bureaucratic processes so that people are paid on time for them to have the kind of mind they need to thrive in the working environment.
And while all services are important, there are certain services that we need to prioritize. Like our healthcare givers, like our teachers. And unfortunately, these are the people who are constantly asking to be treated well. And they're not asking for too much. They're asking for the very basic. We're doing the work. Pay us the money. And she listed the things that she has to do. She has to turn patients. She has to attend to patients. She has to stay with them for X number of hours. And yesterday, I actually interacted with some health workers who said they work 12-hour shifts, 4 days a week, 12 hours a day. She has no money for her lunch. She's not eating. She comes to work and hopes that, she and her friends can contribute and buy food together and eat, because she can't buy her own food. She takes car to work. She says she lives at Pantai, the one who spoke in the video. 42 Ghana cedis every day. Come on. No, that's not what we tabled to discuss for this morning. But it looks like we're getting into it.
When you go to the intensive care unit or even the regular hospitals where people are admitted, you get to appreciate what nurses and doctors do. I mean, sometimes I can't even, I've been to hospitals where people are really in pain, and I can't even kind of imagine or stand people just so much in pain. And yet, these have to endure that and ensure that the patients are taken care of. And at the end of the day, they have to add that bedding as well.
The worst part? They supplement patient care. They pay monies to help buy patients' drugs. They pay monies to help patients pay their bills. And this is something that happens every day in the hospitals. The doctors and nurses, they supplement patient care with their own resources.
They even do that at the maternity wards.
All the time. Anyway, that's not what we tabled for this morning. No. Shall we table it for this morning?
We can add it now.
We can add it for this morning. And so if you're a healthcare worker and you're watching us this morning, we're going to dedicate our this morning discussion to you. You can call us and perhaps throw more light on the situation. Let us know exactly what's going on. We're speaking on the back of that demonstration. Was it a demonstration, should we call it, picketing?
Yeah, it was.
That happened yesterday, and specifically one healthcare worker, a nurse, who detailed her ordeal, the plight she has to go through. She's not been paid for over 8 months. She spoke about many things, but her biggest challenge was just pay us, and the reassurance from the minister that he understands what they're going through was not enough for her. If you're a healthcare worker and you're watching us this morning, please call us and throw more light on this matter for us. And if you're a relative of a healthcare worker, you live with one, you're friends with one, you're free to call us too. In fact, all Ghanaians are welcome to join us in this conversation this morning. It's time for This Morning.
We inherited 13,500 of you being recruited without any financial provision. Now, as I speak to you now, when it comes to issues of salary, the Ministry of Health then collaborates with the Ministry of Finance. Now, out of the 13,500 people, more than 7,000 to 8,000 of them have been processed and they are receiving salary. 6,500 of you whose documentations are still being processed.
And we're just watching right there, the Health Minister, Kwabena Minta Akando. So we have a first caller on the line. Hello, good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on This Morning segment. Yes, your name and where you're calling us.
Good morning, my sister. My name is Peter T. I'm calling from Sukuya.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Please share with us what you're thinking.
I hope Cookie T is doing well.
Yes, Cookie is wonderful.
And what about Johnny Hughes? They are all doing well, right?
Yes, they are all doing well. Thank you so much for asking.
Thank you very much. Let me seize the opportunity to say good morning to Alaji Yaokundo, a hard-working man indeed. And then Mr. That is Mahdi, Director for Election, NDC, and then Alaji Ava, Alaji Raouf, and Mr. K of Wawa Road, and Alaji Norman of NDC. My sister, you know what? I think that I know the nurses have a problem, and I don't want to justify that they are right or they are not right. But they should also consider that this problem has come for 8-9 months now. So if their salary arrest is within that stipulated period of time, the 8 months, government is now doing a whole lot to know what actually pertains into the coffers before they can do some of these payments and pay these allowances for some of these workers, not the nurses alone. So they should exercise some restraint. And once the minister has spoken that he has not forgotten about them, that he's going to do everything possible to ensure that their salary payments and allowances are done, they should exercise restraint. We also go to hospitals, all right. We know that they take the necessary care of patients when you fall sick, but they must also do their best that will hold pressure of patients to also believe in their services. Because sometimes they also have those kind of lackadaisical approach to patients that do not go down well with the patients that are admitted at the hospital. So we plead with them, they should exercise restraint. The promise that is coming from government and then the minister, the central minister, they are going to make sure that everything, comes to mellow. We like them, we appreciate them, we give them thumb up for their hard work that they have been doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter T. Now, I think that's the point that nursing, the crying nurse said, that we appreciate you, but what do I do with that? I need to pay bills. I need to eat.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's right.
Yeah.
She's right. She's working. She ought to be paid.
Yeah.
She's not doing it for compliments. She's doing it to get paid. Anyway, you can also call us. Let us know what your thoughts are on this matter. The phone line is on the screen. But if you haven't cashed out this morning, please do so now. Today is Friday. Today is Friday. We've got 10,000 Ghana cedis for you. 10,000 Ghana cedis going out to 10 of you. So 1,000 cedis to each person. Today, I think I'll play cash out. I could do with a little extra 1,000 cedis. Dial *439#. Select option 2. Play 30 times. Play 30 times.
Exactly. I was actually going to add that.
If you don't play 30 times, what are you doing? At least 30 times. Because the more you play, the higher chances of winning. And if you don't play about 30 to 35 times, you just be helping other people win, which is also okay, if you are a philanthropist. But if you are playing to win, play at least 30 times, 35. You can get angry and play 40 times and increase your chances of winning. Dial *439# today, 10,000 Ghana cedis going out to 10 of us. And we also have some bonuses we'll give to you. So if you don't get 1,000 cedis, you can get 200 cedis or 300 cedis bonuses. And so we have more winners today. It's a good time to play. *439#. That's the number to dial. And then you select option 2 for TV3 and then win big on the show. All right, some messages coming in this morning from you. We'll also read some of your messages on the live stream, so please do send them through. Now, it must take a bold leadership and a leader to end this canker of working for a long time without pay. And I know this president, John Dramani Mahama, will end this canker before 2027. Let us support this government to give Ghana what we want. God bless our homeland, Ghana. And regards to Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah. All right, we have a caller joining us?
Not yet. Yes.
All right, I'll read more messages then. Good morning.
Yes, we actually
we have a caller on the line. All right.
I'm on the line.
Yes, hi Josephine. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what's on your heart. Hi Josephine, we can hear you. Good morning to you. If you can kindly lower the volume of your television set for us so we can hear you well. Okay, we've lost there. But please try and call us back and let's hear what's really is going on based on what we were discussing this morning.
Yes, some more messages coming in. Good morning, Nai and the team. Thank you for wearing pink to remind us about breast cancer. Pleasure is ours. On this health workers issue, it's not just the workers. It's not just the workers. It's also the people who have been placed but have not been paid. Yeah, I don't think the message is very clear. Nai, if you could send that again, we'll be grateful. Now, Humphrey says that watching that nurse made me cry. We go to hospitals and we say that the health workers are not giving of their best. Well, now we know why. They haven't been paid. They're probably hungry and have not eaten at the time they're attending to you. The government should prioritize their payments because our lives are in their hands, and that's
Indeed.
from Humphrey.
Let's go to another caller who is joining us right now. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where you're calling us from, your name and what you're thinking.
Good morning. My name is Dora. Calling from.
Hello, ma'am. We can hear you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. This is Dora calling from.
Hi, Gloria. Please go ahead with your point.
Yeah, I'm a newly registered nurse. Currently, I work in this is for my region. And frankly speaking, we have been suffering a lot. Please, we are crying on to the media to help us out. We are suffering. We've rented rooms here. And we don't stay here with our families. Paying light bill and water bill is not easy. Getting up every day to see your head, first 10 minutes. We are crying, we are suffering. Please, the government should do something. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gloria. How much are you owed, for instance?
You said?
How much are you owed?
10 months now.
Oh, you are part of those who are owed 10 months?
Yes, please.
And how much are you paid?
We've not been paid yet.
How much are you supposed to be paid? What is your salary?
We come with the store. We don't even know how much we are taking in a month.
You don't know how much you're supposed to be paid in a month?
Yes, please.
When was the last time you received a salary?
Just like I said, we had our appointment letters.
You were saying earlier that you're suffering a lot. So for the past 10 months that you've not been paid, can you tell us how the situation is like? You mentioned rent. Just paint a picture for us. How is life for you?
The situation is very bad. The situation is very bad. It's very bad. If you start today, you can't even end it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Gloria. We're hoping that you'll be able to...
Dora.
The connection isn't so great, but I was hoping she could answer the question you just asked her.
I mean, I don't know whether she's borrowing, she's
Gloria,
depending on
can you still hear us?
Yes, probably yes. There are times when you call people and they don't even want to pick your calls.
And you don't know how much you are going to be paid because you haven't received an appointment letter?
We've received the appointment letter.
But it doesn't state a salary.
No clearance.
I can't hear her. Can you?
What did the appointment letter say in terms of how much you should expect to be paid at the end of each month?
Hello?
Gloria, I hope you can hear us. I was asking the appointment letter you received. What did it say in terms of how much you are expected to be paid at the end of every month?
Yeah, it was within the 2,000.
Okay, I'm not too sure Gloria wants to share that with us, but we also wanted to just get an understanding from you. When you say people are not picking your calls, you also mentioned renting, how you're managing all of that. And hello, Gloria.
Hello, Dora. The name is Dora.
Dora, okay, someone else has joined
Dora.
us.
Oh, hi, Dora. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, tell us where you're calling us from and what your situation is.
I'm calling from Ghana. In the Upper West Region.
Okay. Hello. Okay. So just really call us, tell us what the situation is. I think we tried to get that from the lady who called us earlier.
Gloria.
Let us really know, let us appreciate how it's like those of you who have rented and your landladies or your landlords are on your necks to pay your rent. But before we get back to you, we were talking earlier about the nurse who was wailing. Let's just watch her so you get to hear exactly what she said.
To pay us. We've been working for 10 good months, no salary. Personally, my rent expired in 15th August. I've not been able to pay. My landlord is always asking, when are you paying? I'll be like, they'll pay us, please give me time. I stay at Spantine. I wake up Kolebu. I take transportation, 42 cities to work every day. How do they expect me to get that money to come to work? You go to work, doctors will write. Check patients' vitals, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Do RBS, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You bath patients, you tend patients every 4 hours. I'm doing all this just for the minister to tell me that he appreciates the work that I'm doing. Appreciation, babe. I don't understand. Which form of appreciation? How can somebody work and you tell the person I appreciate you for 10 good months? I can't stand it. I'm owing rent. What should I do to be able to pay my rent? I don't understand. They should pay us. Enough is enough. I'm tired. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. They kept me rent at so 15. What the ground? I don't know. You can't even ask somebody for money.
I mean, you just watched it there, and that was what we were trying to tell you earlier. Quite a sad scenario, I should say. But let's hear from you. We have another caller joining us. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us what your situation is in case you're involved in this. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, hi, ma'am. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us what's on your mind.
Please, I'm Doris, calling from Otu region.
Hi, Doris. We can hear you. Please tell us what you're thinking.
Please, I'm Doris, calling from Otu region.
Yes.
I'm from Aken Swedro, posted to Otu region. Look at the distance I've been posted to. But 10 months now, they haven't been paying us. And he was telling the nurse who called how much is our salary. They are paying us 21.43. That is on appointment letter. So
what is 21.21? That's a little over 2,000 cedis.
Yes.
Is it net or gross?
121.
Is it
43?
Okay. Is it net or gross? As in that is that what you're taking home?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's I take away home.
Okay, but just tell us the past 10 months that you've not been paid, how you've been able to manage. Hi, Doris. Okay, it looks like we've lost Doris on the line.
It's not easy. I always call them people for money. Nowadays, when I call them, they don't even mind me. They say, "Oh, I'll call you back."
Doris, are you still on the line with us? Okay, we've lost her on the line. So it's the same story. I mean, depending on people, and eventually people getting tired.
You see the point I was making on why it's a big problem. So the salary is 21.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first place, assuming you are even getting the salary, the lady who does the 43 cities, her transportation for 20 days will be around 860 thereabouts. So already it's gone. That one is gone. The 43, you're going to eat within the course of the day. You're going to buy data. You're going to buy airtime. You're going to pay rent. And so if the money was even coming in the first place, it will not be enough. Not to talk of the fact that it's not coming and you've had to now borrow to make ends meet.
And look, some of them have families.
Yes.
Who they must care for.
Yes.
Some of them care for their parents and their siblings, and they have children, and they have people who depend on them. The salary itself is not enough.
I just calculated, really. 43 times 30, that's 1,290 cedis. That's minus food. Even if you want to eat kinky or gari like once a day, you can imagine how much that is. Let's go to Daryl, who also joins us on the phone. Samuel, good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where you're calling from.
Thank you very much.
And what you've got for us.
Yes, I'm calling from Northern Region. I'm Nakuja Samuel. My take on this issue is the government has done very well, and we really appreciate what the government is doing. Unless the youth of this country expects that when they graduate from all the university, these colleges, to be employed to at least make life and take care of their family. And the government has done this by giving them employment. But the most important thing is, how do they take care of themselves? How do they take care of their family? It's through this salaries that they'll be given. And here is the case, they are not giving their salaries for about 10 good months. How do they survive? So we are pleading with the government to assist the nurses and the teachers as well. I'm a teacher. I've also not been paid for 10 good months. And imagine being employed and not paid for 10 good months. How do I survive? The ministers that have just been inaugurated, they have been taking their salaries just for the past month. And they are refusing to help their brothers and sons. So I'm pleading with them, they should help us. We are pleading. This is our plea. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samuel, for sharing those views with us. Yes.
We've got some messages coming in. I'll read a few of them. Landlord Bolga D-Line says, the minister has patience. He has done well for listening to the plea of the nurses. It's not easy to be paid salary for that number of... It's not easy not to be paid salary for that number of months, and you keep going to work for this country. You guys have done well. But I plead with our health professionals to give the minister some time to work on it for them. And I'll plead with the Ghana Health Service and the Ministry of Health to also stand in for these nurses by pushing the Ministry of Finance to fast-track the process and give them their money. All right. Good morning, Na, and your co-host. I just want to say that I'm so sorry for the nurses and the midwives. But how can the previous government, the NPP, recruit people without financial clearance? How can someone work for 10 months without salary? However, I believe the NDC government under John Dramani Mahama will surely do something about it. Somebody should speak for the teachers too. And please say hello to Honorable Sarah Sandra Pedo, DCE of Angloga, and Honorable Abe Miheso of Anglo constituency, and that's from Kotoka Courage, texting us there. Aziz Donla from Wa says that now breast cancer is real, and so all women should give. All right.
You can't read that.
I'm not going to read the rest of it, but thank you for sending that through.
I think I have an idea of what it was.
Yes, exactly. All right. Still on the issue of the nurses, it was really sad to watch that nurse. It feels like watching your sister go through this. How do we expect them to be able to do the right thing? That is why they'll continue to steal from patients, exaggerate the cost of medicine, and take some off to use to pay for their livelihood. It's not easy. We have another caller joining us?
Not yet. Yes.
All right, more messages
coming in.
in.
A lot of the times when there's a delay in the payment, there's this fanciful word they use, financial clearance. I think one of the texters made reference to that. I mean, what is financial clearance really?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why those nurses have not been sacked. You remember when the government took over, they sacked newly recruited staff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason they have not been sacked, because their services are needed.
Yeah.
And so you cannot blame it on financial clearance when they are going to work and they are working. Because those you didn't want, you've asked them to go home. And they were posted. Some of them were posted in December. Those you didn't need, you've asked them to go home.
Yeah.
So once you are keeping them on, there's no conversation about it.
What is financial clearance?
It simply means that the Ministry of Finance would have to determine that we have capacity to pay or recruit and pay 100 people. So we've cleared you to recruit and pay 100 people. Then the relevant agency will go ahead and recruit. So the understanding or the suggestion is that those people were recruited without the necessary clearance that we have the capacity to pay them. And so that is how come their salaries have not been paid. So it means that now they will now have to get a clearance from the ministry and pay them the outstanding arrears for the last 10 months.
But you see, even if you were getting clearance, does it have to take 10 months before you pay? And somebody called and said that the previous government didn't pay the nurses for 10 months. This is the 9th month of the Mahama administration, right? So, well, I don't know how they did the clearance thing, but it means that the MPP owed about how many months?
No, so the person's argument is that there should have been financial clearance before they were recruited. So if you listen to the nurse who called in, they were posted in December. So they really started work properly either in December or January. So it's just this year. But the argument is that the nation did not have the capacity to have even decided to pay them in the first place.
But I still go back to my old point. Yes, that it shouldn't take 10 months for you to have financial clearance so that people are able to get paid for the services that they've already provided. So call us if you're a nurse, tell us what your situation is and how you're managing it, and perhaps moving forward, what do you intend to do if this persists? Okay, we have another caller joining us. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us, or ma'am. Please tell us where you're calling us from and what you've got on your mind.
I'm Pius from Gary.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Please tell us what you've got for us.
Okay. So first of all, we acknowledge that it is not good somebody works and he or she is not paid. Yes, that is true. But we also beg with our colleagues, the nurses, that we all attended nursing interview, and we told the panelists that we wanted to save life, not money. So why do we prioritize the money over the saving of life?
Sir, I don't know whether you appreciate the situation that if you're working, it's your right to be paid. So you cannot say that they are prioritizing money over.
I appreciate that. And that is what I acknowledged earlier. I said we acknowledge the fact that when we work, we should be paid for what we do. But we should not exaggerate things. Before they employ these nurses, I understand some stood in the house for over 5 years. What were they living on? But they have hope. They held to hope that we will be employed one day. There is a university graduate who has sat in the house since 2009. He has not gotten a job. Do you think he didn't pay school fees?
Okay, so your point
and
is
there's
that...
no even hope that one day he will be posted.
So your point is that...
hope that one day, whatever be the case, the government will post you and surely one day you will get paid. So do not exaggerate it. I hear one of them, the way they were yelling and even insulting other professions. Is it a crime we didn't do political science? Is it a crime we didn't do that course? But there are people who have sat home since 2009.
Okay, so your point is that they shouldn't complain.
The point is
they should keep working
our grievances
and hope that one day they are paid. That's what you're saying.
When the minister was addressing them, then he said, so and so number has been processed. You hear them say, no, this our Ghanaian youth, our attitude is not making us sound right.
Okay.
I mean, I really don't get.
Let us be right in our
okay.
That is right, and people can.
But sir, hold on. Are you saying
when there were no drugs in the hospitals, we didn't hear nurses cry that there are no drugs in the hospitals. I have a friend nurse who I spoke to. I said, you people, you are going on strike. When there were no drugs, you didn't go on strike that there are no drugs. But now they have made provisions, insurances have been cleared, and there are now drugs. Why are you people going on strike because of simple allowances?
Excuse me, sir. I don't know if you really appreciate the problem here. We're talking about people who have worked for 10 months without salary. And your point is that they should be able to continue working and not complain because they have been given jobs. Now, the point, the primary reason we work is to get paid. And these are people who have worked for almost 1 year without getting paid. I don't think that you would like to work for a year without getting paid. But we appreciate your call anyway. We appreciate your call anyway. Thank you for calling us. But let's not water down the problem. Let's not water down the problem. People have been working without getting paid. It's been 10 months and they're asking to be paid. We do not think that they're asking for too much. We think that they're asking for the bare minimum, and we should respect the problem and ask that the right thing should be done for them.
I mean, I don't think it's fair to say that you're better off employed and not being paid than staying home without employment.
I mean, there are people who do volunteer work. This is not volunteer work. They are not volunteering their services. They are working to be paid. And so, I don't understand.
Yeah. So I mean,
the point.
Those who may have joined, I think some may not have joined the committee from the start. We are getting messages, people saying that we didn't play the minister's response. We actually played the minister at the start, and the minister did indicate that they were onboarding them gradually, and that eventually they will get all of them on board. I think we played that. It was very, very clear. I mean, there's no doubt about that. The point that is being made is about the fact that these are individuals who are working. They've been working for 10 months, and we are making use of their services. So it's only fair that they get what is due them. I think we have another
Exactly. We have another caller on. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Yes, please tell us where you're calling us from, and if you've got anything on your mind regarding what we're discussing.
My name is Sadiq. I'm calling from Chiraponi.
Yes, sir. How is Chiraponi this morning?
Oh, alhamdulillah, we're all fine. You see, madam, I'm sure this country, our problem is politics. You see that guy who gets called, I'm sure it's an NDC executive. Why do you employ people for about 10 months and they are not paid? How do you expect them to live? How do you expect them to take care of their parents? And I'm sure these are the reasons why Galamsey is not stopping. If I'm employed for 10 months and I'm not paid, why am I going to do Galamsey and I get my money? And those are the ministries, those are the governments. Are they not paid? Have you ever seen MPs going on strike? Have you ever seen ministers going on strike? That is because they don't have such problems. Now you are employing, and it's not paid for 10 months, and you're telling me to have patience. Patience for what? How do I feed? How do I work? And now somebody will call and then try to play politics by saying that they should exercise patience, some are not employed. Well, people are grateful for being employed, but is employment the only solution? So please, I think when people call, they should stop speaking politics, and I understand the situation at hand, my sister. That's the right thing. Politics is what is killing us in this country. And it's not fair. People are really suffering. The youth are suffering. And let me tell you, very soon in Ghana, the streets will be more than Jamaica, if people don't know. You know, if such things are going on, people will be forced to do what they don't want to do. There will be a time when people will see the education is useless because I will not go to school and then at the end I will not have nothing to do it. Well, why not be on the street and hustle and chop? So please, our leaders have to wake up and then do the right thing for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling us from Tripoli. A fair point is made, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I get the point that he made, and you know the point I was making about it being something that happens over and over. You recall not too long ago, pharmacists in Ghana, they had been waiting for their salaries for months. Some had not been paid since June 2023. They got their salary in July of 2025, and so that is an example of that situation. So it's not necessarily one that is limited to this government alone, and it comes back to the point again that we just have to ensure that the bottlenecks do not delay to this extent. And we appreciate the onboarding and all those things that have been done. But, I mean, simple terms, people want their money.
Just pay them, So, for those who are actually defending this, I'm wondering if those nurses were their relatives and their salaries themselves I mean, their salaries were not enough, and yet they had to take care of their sisters or brothers who were equally not paid. How they would talk if they were in that situation.
I have a very lengthy message here. I'm going to try to read some of it. There's no way I can read all of it. It's from MK Erickson, and he says, well, warm regards, this is a bit lengthy, but it will help us understand some facts. Let me state categorically, without mincing words, that the inhumane ritual of newly posted nurses and midwives having to break their spine for almost a year before their legitimate salaries are paid is terrifying. It's unacceptable. It's horrible. And I cannot recall my own soul. I cannot recall my own soul poaching and patriotism quenching experience I went through in 2021 when I had my salary on the 13th month. Now, here are some facts. 1, clearance was issued in July 2024 by the Nanado Baumia-led MPP government. The nurses and midwives were asked to apply from August 5th to August 5th, 2024 to August 23rd for posting in August 2024. After they made the applications via the portal in August 2024, they were not posted to water until early January. By then, the July 2024 clearance had expired. The clearance has a lifespan of a financial year. This was their clearance and subsequent portal application. Okay. Was it an elections bait that didn't yield the desired results? In January, during the transition, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama issued a public statement asking the then outgoing government to halt the posting of staff, but they did not heed. They deliberately pushed my colleague nurses and midwives into wards without the financial provision and/or clearance. 4, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama came in fully, a public statement was issued through the Chief of Staff to abort all public recruitments made in December, that's after the elections in January. But the President asked for the health sector, security sector, etc., to be exempted. If the President wanted to punish colleague nurses and midwives, he wouldn't have intervened. 5, since the health minister and the meticulous and focused finance minister worked assiduously, out of the 13,500 nurses and midwives that were pushed into wards in January without financial clearance or space, about 7,000 nurses and midwives have been paid since August. Wait, I don't know if you mean to say have not been paid since August 2025. All right. I don't understand the rest of your message. I'll try to read over again and then share it. But this is from a nurse or midwife who's trying to give us some clarity on the issues, on the financial...
It does not really provide any clarity to any issue.
Yeah.
The point that is being made is that we all want an effective public service. We all want an effective public service. That's all we're asking for. And I'm saying that there isn't a properly functioning private company that you are going to walk into, no matter what term you want to call it, 10 months onboarding, expiring in a financial year, whatever term you call it, that would have you work 10 straight months and your salary is not being paid. It doesn't work in any proper functioning institution.
I mean, the worst that happens is, let's say, middle of the next month. That is like the worst scenario. But
for staff that sometimes you don't start at the beginning of the month. That can happen, but not for that long.
I mean, and this happens over and again. This is not the first time. In fact, for the many years, we had nurses going on massive demonstrations, asking for salaries, even up to 24 months and all of that. And it just really emphasizes the point Joseph Akable just made, that there is a problem within the system that has to be identified for it to be fixed. Because, I mean, we cannot always blame it on financial clearance, really.
Point well made. I cannot begin to understand it. And my point is that there are certain services, while, you know, of course, we appreciate all public sector workers, but there are certain services that we must prioritize. And I think healthcare and teachers should be prioritized.
And healthcare workers are seen as essential service providers.
Essential service providers.
They are not even permitted to go on strikes.
Yes.
Exactly.
And yet they are supposed to work as well.
Exactly. Yes. And their hours, 12-hour shifts, some of them work. 12-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts. The work is demanding, the work is difficult, the salary is not enough, and they are not getting paid. And they come out to complain, and you know, some Ghanaians actually feel that they should not be doing that because they should appreciate the opportunity given them to work.
We are not even talking about the working environment.
Exactly. That's just not fair to ask, and that's not right. And that video of the young nurse complaining about her plight really broke my heart yesterday when I watched it. And this should not happen. This should not happen at all. And we hope that this reassurances that the minister has given them, actually, we hope that at the end of this month, we will see that they will be paid. And not just some of it, but all of it. Because sometimes we hear that they've been paid and then it is some of it. And then, you know,
some of them are owing, actually.
They have to fight again for the rest of it to be paid.
Indeed.
Quite
And
unfortunate.
thank you so much for calling in to share those views with us on this morning's segment. But before we take a break for the big conversation today, the Ghana Premier League is home on TV3. Every week, TV3 gives you 3 live GPL matches, the biggest games, the fiercest rivalries, and of course the brightest stars brought straight to your screens with world-class coverage. But that's not all. We set the stage with our GPL preview show, giving you the inside scoop and expert analyses. And when the final whistle blows, we keep you covered. And our highlight and review programs, so you never miss a goal, a save, or a talking point. For the fans who love to stay connected on the go, we have reels and updates on all our social media platforms. This is more than just coverage. This is TV3 positioning the Ghana Premier League as premium sports product. So mark your calendars, gather your friends, and join us this weekend for another unforgettable round of Ghana Premier League football, only on TV3. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll bring you the big conversation.
paid salaries for nurses are causing them to picket and demand for payments. We heard from the minister as well, and that is something that we're going to talk about right here on the big issue. We're actually going to start with that particular conversation. We all know how important it is, how important healthcare workers are to the system, and unfortunately, they would have to be subjected to this. And we'll start off by first listening to the Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta Akando, explaining why the nurses have not been paid for 10 months and also what will be done about that situation going forward.
Inherited 13,500 of you being recruited without any financial provision. Now, as I speak to you now, when it comes to issues of salary, the Ministry of Health then collaborates with the Ministry of Finance. Now, out of the 13,500 people, more than 7,000 to 8,000 of them have been processed and they are receiving salary. It's not paid. 6,500 of you whose documentations are still being processed.
The Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta Akando, admitted,
do not want to stand here and give you a timeline, say next week, and when it's not being fulfilled, it will be construed as we have also,
So that's the Health Minister, Kwabena Minta Akando. And even while you were speaking, you could hear some of the nurses registering their disagreement with the things that he was saying. There's one particular nurse who was engaged by the media personnel present after this particular interview, and that particular video has gone viral. Just watch her closely as she comments on some of the issues raised by the minister.
We are just pleading on the government to pay us. We've been working for 10 good months, no salary. Personally, my rent expired in 15th August. I've not been able to pay. My landlord is always asking, when are you paying? I'll be like, they'll pay us, please give me time. I stay at Spantine. I wake up Kolebu. I take transportation, 42 cities to work every day. How do they expect me to get that money to come to work? You go to work, doctors will write. Check patients' vitals, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Do RBS, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You bath patients, you tend patients every 4 hours. I'm doing all this just for the minister to tell me that he appreciates the work that I'm doing. Appreciation, babe. I don't understand. Which form of appreciation? How can somebody work and you tell the person I appreciate you for 10 good months? I can't stand it. I'm owing rent. What should I do to be able to pay my rent? I don't understand. They should pay us. Enough is enough. I'm tired. Enough is enough. They kept me rent as so 15. What the crowd? I don't know. You can't even ask somebody for money. The moment you test somebody, the person will be like, they are coming for money. And the person will be giving you excuses.
She's speaking of and having to travel that distance, Pantine to Kolebu work, and working for those number of months and not being paid. And during the early segments when we took the phone calls, I did indicate that this is not a challenge that we can just limit it to the nurses. I remember the pharmacists also had the same problem. It went as far back as June of 2023, and it was just this year that they managed to get their salaries coming through. I also made reference to the president as well, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Even about 2 to 3 months after he had taken office, he did state when he had asked his staff and the ministers for that matter to donate various amounts to support the Mahama Care program. He had indicated that as at that time he was speaking, he had not been paid because the controller was undertaking various processes. And so there is a systemic challenge that we ought to identify and isolate. That is one side of it. Then there's the other side also of how we handle recruitments in final years before we exit. We understand that a financial clearance was given, the recruitments and postings were completed after December. We heard from some of the nurses tell us that the postings were done in December, they started work in January. We know that in the election year, the then opposition party had made a point about last-minute recruitment. It's not the first time again. If you go back to 2016, similar calls were made. We saw the recruitments taking place. We've also seen some individuals who were recruited into the public service who unfortunately have also been let go. So it's a very broad conversation with various angles to it. But there's a substantive point that we all agree with, no matter where you start the conversation from, is the fact that it's not fair for our citizens to be working that long and not receive their monies. And it's very important that the minister said that is being dealt with, and we just hope that it will be done as soon as possible. And so that's what will be engaging our attention for the first part of this discussion. And joining me in the studio to help us understand the issues, Professor Enoch Opoku Entry is a governance analyst. Prof. Sporting his smoke this morning, Prof. Akwaba.
Yeah, let's say. Before we talk about the topic, I quickly want to jump into what is happening at the tech. The headmaster who was...
the assistant headmaster, yes.
The assistant headmaster. And now I was told that Okaja Krom in Oti Region 2, there was a teacher who did that. Now, I have a cringe, of God when I hear that a headmaster is having or fondling the breast of a 13-year-old girl. This is psychopath. This is a pedophile. And in the other countries, most of the time I talk about values and people don't understand. There was a guy, I'll tell the story. There was a guy who was in his house drunk. And he was naked. Somebody knocked at the door and he thought it was his wife. He opened it and it was an 8-year-old girl coming to uncle to take a movie to go and watch. You know what happened to him? He was sentenced 9 years in Hamilton County, 9 years in Fairfield County, 18 years. We had to plead for just to run concurrently for 9 years. He spent 9 years in jail for doing that. And when he came, he's not supposed to stay closer 5 miles to anywhere there is a school. Anytime he wants to go out, he has a probation officer that has to give him the clearance to go out. That is how in the advanced country they treat this seriously. I was talking to a lady yesterday who told me that one of her teachers broke her virginity in senior high school. What is happening in our schools? I can't imagine sending my child to school and for a teacher to molest my own child. These things, I like the way the GES is handling it. I like the way the gender ministry is handling it. We should, make sure that it stops because teachers should be held to the highest standard. If I'm giving my child to your care, it doesn't matter how akwalaboni the child is. A 13-year-old is a 13-year-old. But for a teacher to do that to a girl, it's a no-no, and they should be punished accordingly and sent to jail.
It's a very disturbing story, and since that story actually broke out, we've heard from a number of groups and even individuals tell us that this is a very familiar story. So that is the more important reason why it needs to be dealt with aggressively. Also joining me in the studio this morning, Austin Bracco Powers is a legal practitioner. Austin, thank you for joining us as usual. Nice. And next to him is Abraham Amaliba. Abraham Amaliba is a legal practitioner as well, Director General of the National Road Safety Authority and a member of the National Democratic Congress. And I'll start with AB on the issue of
Akabule, don't start with me yet. Akabule, the saga between the minority and Sam George, for me, is mind-boggling.
Okay.
In Nigeria, you have citizens wanting their ministers to champion a cause for them they don't get, and the citizens themselves pour onto the street. In Ghana, you have a minister who believes, and all of us sitting here will believe so, that a multinational is milking the people and wants a reprieve for Ghanaians. You have Ghanaians rising up against the minister. I cannot understand what kind of people we are. Instead of us to support the man, he's gotten some things for us. People are saying that he didn't promise us that. He promised us this. What kind of people are we? That we are now supporting multinationals to, as it were, shortchange Ghanaians, and we are happy. There are some who are saying that that's not your business. What are we? What kind of people are we?
That's a conversation we've had before, and it's one that we'll have again.
If we had supported him, he would have gotten what he wanted for us.
Okay.
We didn't support him. We were on radio stations, TV stations. Hey, Sam George, that's not your what? So anybody can come and set up a company here and be milking Ghanaians because, and I heard people say that it's a private business. So what? Private business in a country must do things that will benefit the people.
Okay.
I don't know where Ghana is going.
Oh, no. Okay. I can now start with you.
Yes, start.
Okay, good. We've heard from the nurses who protested yesterday. We've also heard from the Minister of Health explain that they inherited a backlog. A significant number had been recruited, and they are still working on getting them onto the system. But what we know is that they've worked for 10 months, and I mean, that young lady we all saw in the video speaking. I mean, that video broke my heart. I mean, she lives at Pantine and works at Kolebu. I mean, Pantine to Kolebu. I mean, it's not a healthy system that we are running. I mean, things should be better. You agree?
It's a sad commentary on our governance system. It's a simple matter of, if you want to employ, put money aside to employ. If there's no money, don't employ. But we've had situations where governments employ people not because they need them to work, but for political gains. And so, leading up to elections, you find governments scrambling to employ people, but do not make available funds to cater for the people. In the past, these are the people that the governments would dismiss when they take over, when there's a new government. In the past, these are the people, because government will normally say that, but they've employed you guys, but they've not made financial provision. You know, it happened in the military in the past. When recruits were under training, they fired them. Teachers, they will sack you. When a similar thing was going to be done to this group of people, I think the president intervened and said they are Ghanaians, let's leave them. But nonetheless, the funding to pay them was not secured. They had financial clearance, that was right, under MPP. Then, my information from the ministry is that the MPP could not finish processing their documents to put them on the payroll, and they left the government. But more importantly, there was no funds put aside to cater for them. So if you look at the number, 13,600 and 500, this government has processed 7,000.
To 8,000.
Huh?
7 to 8,000.
Okay. Okay. Has processed 7,000. Now, the finance ministry does not want to destabilize the current macroeconomic stability that we have. And let me admit, 13,500 is huge for a particular year. So, my information from the ministry is that they are doing them gradually, they will process them gradually and put them on the payroll. It's not like they have forgotten of them. But they are doing this, having at the back of them, their mind, not to destabilize the system that we are enjoying now, having come out from a poor, bad situation under the previous administration. So, I sympathize with them. I think that their cause is a good cause. They are sitting down for how many months? 10 months without salary is a very serious matter. As I speak, I've not taken my salary yet, but I'm not comparing myself to them. You even mentioned those who were just appointed to the presidency. Most of them have not taken their salary. Those who have taken their salaries are those whose institutions generate revenue, so they pay themselves. IGF. But those of us who have to go to the controller have not been paid. As I said, have not been paid.
Yeah, but that's a big problem.
That's what I'm saying, that it is a sad commentary on our governance system. It has been so. In this day and age, where there's what do they call it, biometric registration, there's IA or AI. there's technology, digitalization. Why should anybody be made to go to work for 9 months, even 6 months, without taking his salary? Because like I indicated, it's about input, output. In the private sector, before they employ, they will have secured the funds for new recruitments. And so, in the private sector, the first day you go, you take your salary. That month, you take your salary. So it is a sad commentary on our entire governance system in terms of payment of salaries. And we need to fix this and fix it. Again, let's desist from engaging in political recruitments. There should be a law that says that between certain periods to elections, we cease recruitment. Because you don't know what the next government will come and do. You don't recruit people at that 11th hour when you have not made provisions for their payment. And I think that if we are able to do that, this type of things will not happen.
Let me come to Prof now. And Prof, he identifies the problem as a bigger general one that is taking place. I would want you to start off from what do we do in the interim if we have this situation and we can't pay them? Because the lady we had, I mean, we know the systemic problem. I don't get why she has to be going to work for 10 months. She's basically paying the country. And actually, someone actually called to tell us their salaries. They are paid, he said, 21, that's 2,121 cedis. So in the first place, even that amount, if you do the give and take of a transportation from Pantine to Kolebu already, if the money was even coming, it should be in negative. And it's not even coming. What do we do in that intervening period?
Thank you, Aka, and greetings to our viewers everywhere in the world. When I watched the video of the demonstration, what came to my mind was simple. And a word came to my mind. It said the phrase, the pause, is part of the point in a civil service culture. So I was testing the pause of these individuals, the emotions that they were showing. And somebody living at Pantine, and she says she comes to Kolebu every day, and a week she spent, a day she spent 42 Ghana cedis. So 42 Ghana cedis, that means about 200 Ghana cedis in a week. That alone is going to give you about 800 Ghana cedis in a month. And after that, you will eat, because man must eat, and woman must eat. You will eat. And that eating is also going to cost you not less than about 200. I know Gary Futor in Osu here, that is 150 Ghana cedis. It's just Gary Futor with 2 eggs. It's 150 Ghana cedis. So food is also expensive in eating at Kolebu area. Plus, she will have to wear some dresses. She will have to put on cream. And if you look at that and a female working for that long and not being paid, then we have a big problem. So a couple of things. They said they go to school for 3 years, nursing school. They stayed home for 4 years, which is 7 years, before they had a job. And getting the job to 8 months if not been paid. I have a big problem with the way our technocrats, especially controller, processes our payment system. AB talk about something that is important, which is HR, human resources. If people are working and you don't have the budget to pay them, then why do you hire them in the first place? Because nobody works for free. Nobody is Father Christmas to work for free. So the clearance, the financial clearance that they receive and then they recruit, once you are recruiting, then you know that you have the salary to pay the people, because a laborer deserves his or her wages. And if people are working and they are not being paid, right from the presidency, I know I have some friends who are advisors at the president, the vice president office, they've not been paid. AB talked about not being paid. That is an opening that we are having for corruption. So ask yourself, how is he going to survive? He's been in office, he's been the CEO for Ghana Road Safety, and he's not been paid for that long.
My wife feeds me, so...
Your wife feeds you?
Yeah.
So what about somebody who don't have a wife, or a nurse who don't have a boyfriend? So how are they going to feed them? But
No, I'm answering your question directly.
Okay.
Not to let you go on the tangent that I'm doing corruption.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that...
So let me clear the air.
Okay.
So
Thank you for clearing the air. That your wife... So your wife is doing a good job. You've got a good wife who is helping you. But it's not everybody who has got a wife. So what do we do as a system? In the first place, excuse me, we need to find a way of making budget available before we hire people. I also want to say that you don't hire people thinking that the other government will come and then pay them. We even have a situation where the outgoing government will raise salaries and then go thinking that the new government will come and somehow find money magically and then solve the problem. So why are we creating problems for the upcoming government? I know even when this government came, the supply of electricity, we had how many days? Less than a week. Yeah. I mean, how do you, if you are writing and handing over notes for me and everything is in shortage, thinking that I will come and magically solve the problem, it doesn't work that way. So the continuity of governance is a problem. Two, the technocrats and how they process the problem, the salaries, is a problem. You can't wait for 10 months without being paid. Everybody is living from paycheck to paycheck. The pay itself is inadequate. And for that delaying for 10 months, do you have to go and borrow? What do you have to do? And that is not good for the kind of system that we are building. I'm going to end this way. Empathy is key in such situation. And in empathy, think about that girl who said she comes from the Western region, but she's now at Brahafo region, I think Teshima or so. And her rent that she pays, she doesn't know anybody from that town. And she's staying there and I've been working for 10 months, has not been paid. I'm putting myself in the shoe of that lady. But I also saw two individuals talking about that lady who was crying about her rent. Do you know that this morning I've been told a lot of people have reached out to her and helped her with money. Another one came and talked about her rights, that I know my right, the minister is lying and nobody reached out to her to support her. So I know the empathy of Ghanaians that when you have such a situation, even your landlord or your landlady will understand that your salary has not come. So when it comes, then you come and pay. So we are that hospitable, but we should do all we can. The minister said that they met 13,500. 8,000 have been processed and 6,500 are being processed. They marched straight to the Minister of Finance. They didn't meet the minister, they met the Deputy Minister of Finance. He also assured them that they are working on it to get it paid. Then I am asking those at the Controller General, even if they will do overtime, to make sure that these nurses are paid immediately, they should do so because it is very urgent.
Let me come to Austin now. And Austin, I mean, Prof, adds on and isolates the challenge specifically, but I want us to focus on the last-minute recruitments. I mean, those who argue in support of it say that government is a continuum. I mean, the fact that we are in an election year, especially because of the long period it takes to complete the process. So in this case, we are told that they started in July, the clearance was in July, the adverts were in August, postings were completed in December, then we're supposed to start work in January. I mean, those who are in support will say that why should we have any freeze on recruitment simply because we are going to vote?
I think, those who are pushing for that argument are right. In a sense that, it is true that governments must work until the very last day in office. But upon closer examination of this issue, particularly the unpaid nurses, one root cause emerged, which AB, Prof, and yourself have hinted at. That is the last-minute appointments and postings. I have been asking myself, I think we need to place or impose a statutory or constitutional duty on government that when there is a change of government, that because there should be a caveat. When there's a change of government, we must freeze up all appointments and postings. Or let me put it simply, employment into the public sector.
So that is after they have employed, you freeze it?
No. The thing is that there must be a statutory or constitutional imposition that where there is a change of government after December 7th or whatever date will be set in future, there must not be any appointment or posting. So it takes effect immediately after there's a change of government.
But what if the previous government employs before leaving?
They see. So the idea is that it may be open to abuse, or there's likely for political parties or government parties in power to abuse that. But you see, Joseph, I've been asking myself, is the government benefiting from the services of these nurses? And by extension, are Ghanaians benefiting from their services? They've been working for close to 10 months. Have they been working for us? Are we benefiting from their services? So if we are comfortable taking their services, why are we comfortable not paying them? I think this government has no excuse. because they had two options when they met the situation. First is to terminate their appointment. Because the issue is simple. If there's no capacity to engage their services, why employ them in the first place? The minute you employ them, it means that you need their services. And the moment they deliver, you must pay them, because a worker is entitled to his or her just pay. The second is to retain them, and they chose to retain them. If you have done that, you have no excuse or basis to do that. I think we have succeeded in visiting cruelty on our own people. In fact, watching their faces while they marched to the principal street of Accra, I couldn't help but to feel deep sympathy for them. They are going through this because of the carelessness and irresponsible conduct of some public officials who knew from day one that these people have been employed and we did not have the financial capacity to accommodate them. Why allow them to work in the first place? And as we listened from the lady, we watched the video where she narrated and lamented about her ordeal. She is just one of many stories, many untold stories that we are even yet to know. Some are even sick. I've heard some people are even sick because they could not even call their relatives. And there was this particular nurse who said she's not in debt because she had been taking loans from her siblings and even friends. As this person, and one nurse, she calls them. They do not want to pick her calls because they know she's coming to what? Beg. I think, first of all, the government has no excuse. I listened to the minister. He must put his act together. I know he doesn't have the financial muscle. He doesn't have the decision. He cannot make that decision. He has to collaborate with the finance ministry. These two ministers must collaborate.
But to the extent that, I mean, we are learning AB and a lot of other public officers have also not been paid, and they've been able to onboard about 7,000 to 8,000. I mean, that shows that they are working towards
No, they are doing it. They are doing
No,
it will be fair to still say that the government has no
anyway.
Joseph, we are saying that we don't want to give room to any excuses. We said whatever be the bureaucratic bottlenecks, government must make sure that they receive their just pay. I think I have said, and it bears a great and key reputation that this is cruelty. Okay. If you don't need their services, do not engage them. The moment you have engaged them, it means that you need their services. And I've said that from day one, these people have been working. And you heard the lady, they are bathing patients, feeding them and doing all sorts of things. We are taking their services. So why are we comfortable taking their services? Yeah, we are the same people. These same people, we are comfortable not paying them. That is cruelty.
But Powers, I think the context of it is that it is not this government that hired them.
No.
The 13,500, they came to me and they said they have worked on 8,000, which is more than half.
Prof, I'm saying that there's no excuse. The thing is that we have identified the root cause, all of us on this table. We've identified the root cause being last-minute appointment. And I have suggested that we need a statutory or constitutional provisions to serve as a freeze on last-minute appointment, particularly where there's a change of government. But I'm saying that you came to meet the situation. If you do not have the financial muscle, capacity to accommodate them, don't engage them. Prof, your school, I'm not sure you employ a lecturer when you know you don't have the financial clearance.
Yeah, you need a budget before you employ somebody. But I've talked about that.
Yeah, but then it comes back to how governments manage things. Because first, we are told that there was a clearance in July. In fact, the text that came in was that it expired once the financial year was complete, and it didn't happen.
Yes.
And so you clearly can blame the system more than even necessarily.
So that was the point that
the
point that I was trying to make is that even in the advanced world, and I keep bringing that because of the best practices that I've observed, Trump can shut down federal workers that they will not be paid. And that is not right. So you have federal workers, even those at the airport, going to stay at home because there is a problem with governance. So governance can stand in the way of progress, which we should watch against. Now, having said that, I think that when we are recruiting and we don't have the budget, I agree with all of you. We shouldn't recruit at all. Because once you recruit me at the end of the month and you don't pay me, how do you expect me to buy fuel and come to work and eat and wear dresses and then you are not paying me? So it's morally, it's wrong that way. And that is why the Bible said a laborer deserves his or her wages. I'm laboring for you. And why can't you pay me? But the challenge that I said we should put in perspective is that I have come to meet 13,500 people employed by the previous government, and they've not been paid. Now, I have been able within 9 months to process it according to the minister. When the minister was speaking and I heard people, some of these days saying that it's a lie, it's a lie. I don't know. But I saw the demeanor of the minister, very humble, saying that we are working on it. We have processed 8,500 out of the 13,500. We are left with 6,500. And it's at the controller level being worked on. I was expecting that after going to the Minister of Finance place, they should have gone to controller too. Because our technocrats sometimes, they cripple our hands. What are they doing that they can't process 6,500? If they need more people...
The thing is, you don't blame controller because the clearance must come from the Ministry of Finance.
So all of them are working in tandem.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is that
they take instruction from the ministry.
The minister has come to speak. They went to
the finance minister.
No, he's referring to the health
minister. They went to the deputy finance minister because he said the finance minister had trouble. So they spoke to the deputy finance minister. He also told them that when his bosses come, he will present everything to them and re-echo the same thing, that controller is working on that. So let's assume, and when he was saying that, some of the nurses said, "Oh boy." You see, so it means that trust is a problem here, that they don't even believe that they are going to be paid. I think we should work on that kind of trust because there's a trust gap in everywhere, and that is not good. But my bottom line point is that when we are hiring people, we should make the clearance available, because the clearance first, the financial clearance first, before you hire them, and then when you hire them, there should be continuous of payment. Once there is a break, you demotivate the person even to work properly. And these nurses are working on our health. So if you go and they will not attend to you, the difference between life and death is in their hands. You can die easily. So I am pleading on behalf of these nurses. They are our sisters, they are our brothers, they are our aunties, they are our mothers. The government should find wherever money is and pay them the gap of 10 months so that they can also get money to pay their bills.
Okay. Maybe I'll give you the
I heard Powers say that if you don't have money, don't engage them.
It's simple.
But these people have already been engaged. It's not like this government is here to engage them. This government came and made them engaged. So they have already been engaged. The thing that would have happened was to dismiss them.
In fact, there are those who say that there are some individuals who you remember were recruited the last minute appointment. The government sacked all of them.
Exactly.
The alternative was to dismiss them. But I can tell you, when you ask these nurses at that time to choose between dismissal and then can you wait for 1 year for us to pay you, they will choose the 1 year. They will do that. So, like I indicated, before I got in here, I spoke to an official at the ministries. They are saying that they have not abandoned the payment to them, but they are putting them on the system gradually. You can't put 13,500. So there was even, let me tell you something, there was even a consideration to have lawyers for all district assemblies. Lawyers for all district assemblies. But the government said that for now we can't pay. So let them not be employed yet. When funds are ready, then we can employ them. So I want the nurses to know that the ministry is working to put them on board. And that's why we have 8,000. I was saying somebody say 8,000. 8,000 people put on board. The government feels that if you put all of them on board, it will destabilize the economy. Now we are enjoying some stability. I heard inflation has come down some more again.
9.4.
So it's a bitter pill for them, but I'm begging them, and I think that Ministry of Finance should also do something extra to ensure that they put them on board. This is just a matter that can be resolved.
Okay, so let's see how the ministry deals with this one immediately, just to ensure that they get what is due them. Let's talk about Galamsey now, because at midday today, President John Dramani Mahama will be holding a very crucial meeting with a number of civil society organizations and interest groups. And we all saw that letter that was signed. It's dated actually 17th of September 2025 by the Secretary to the President, Dr. Callistus Mahama, in which he says, on the instructions of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, I am pleased to invite you to participate in a civil society organization engagement on illegal mining. This engagement aims to provide a platform for frank and constructive dialogue between the government and civil society on the menace of illegal mining with a view to harnessing collective expertise, perspectives, and solutions to address this national challenge. Please accept the assurances of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President, and a number of groups: Catholic Bishops Conference, Christian Council of Ghana, Aricha Ghana, Imani Ghana, IDEC, CDD, a host of others all participating in this engagement. Let me start with you, Austin, in the middle. Good move, or you belong to the school of thought that believes that this is an admission that the government solutions are not working, or alternatively, the government just wants to bring everyone on board the plan?
No, Joseph, I think, keenly, this is a significant step forward in our anti-galamsey fight. I think the government, the president has done well. I don't see this as an admission with regard to the weakness of government's plan. What remains unclear is the scope of the consultation layer, particularly how we are involving representatives of political parties, especially those in parliament and those outside parliament. Because I have argued before that any holistic approach must have their input. So I see this as a significant step. The government should feel free to adopt ideas of CSOs, experts, and well-meaning Ghanaians. I cringe when government officials, take these lethargic steps, because when you adopt the ideas, it doesn't mean that, one, that you are weak or you are bereft of ideas. It only means one thing. It demonstrates strength. That is the strength of a listening government. Bear in mind, this anti-galamsey fight is not the duty of the government alone. It's a collective responsibility. We are all involved. So, I want to encourage the president. There's one thing to assemble all these fine brains under one roof to discuss the galamsey issue. And there's another thing, implementing the outcomes or the resolutions of that discussion. The government must be able to implement for us to see the outcome of that discussion. I'm hoping that we'll have a very, good conversation, or the government will have good conversation with the CSOs. But Joseph, there's one critical thing that has always been on the table. The debate about the security zones versus
state of
emergency. And the government has declared our water bodies and forest reserves as security zones. But let me be clear with them. This will not solve the problem. A state of emergency properly so declared and managed will be more effective than what we are seeing.
Why do you say so?
And it's simple. And you see, there's this, there's this misconception being peddled by some element that a declaration of a state of emergency automatically means the suspension of fundamental rights and freedoms. This is simply untrue.
I want you to stay on the security zone first.
I'm coming. Allow me to drive home my point. I'm saying this because, you see, those peddling or pushing for this narrative are either misinformed or they are deliberately disinforming the public. Why am I saying this? The Constitution, the 1992 Constitution is clear. When you look at Article 3110, it sets out the principles governing a state of emergency declaration. And I have said, gone are the days where emergency powers under military rule were used to trample on rights. Under this dispensation, anything done under a state of emergency must meet constitutional test and be in the interest of the people. And what do I mean by the Constitution? It must meet proportionality, legality, and necessity.
Okay.
So those claiming that a state of emergency automatically means your rights are suspended, that's a far cry. Let's not.
Now the question of why do you think the security zones is less effective?
Security zones, declaring those water bodies as security zones, one, is prone to corruption because the people you are deploying to go and even man the place, they are likely to to be deceived by the people.
When you do a state of emergency, people will have to go and man the place still.
No, so that, and you see, the thing is that it is the notion and an understanding and the technicalities, the workings, the requirements of these two things. They are a security zone may be subsumed under a state of emergency, but you can't subsume a state of emergency under a security zone.
Yeah, but the substantive point is that people still go there. The corruption that you speak of, that's your first challenge. People will still go there and man the place.
That is, and the thing is that, you see, when you declare a state of emergency, the perception and the mindset of the people you are sending to those places matters.
Okay.
And you must make sure that you let them understand the weight of the situation we are dealing with. Joseph, let me tell you, when last the president met the media, you remember September 10th, 2025. You know the situation has worsened, has gone to an alarming level. Water stability level have shot up. We are talking about food crops being poisoned.
The stability level has reduced.
Being poisoned.
It has reduced rather.
Food crops being poisoned, and we are witnessing rising death toll on Galamsey site. I think this is not.
Okay, so aside from the corruption, what other reason makes it less effective, like you're arguing?
There's declaring those places as security zones. It's almost like what we are witnessing with that security zones, because those people will go there and leave the place.
Okay.
They will visit, they will do regular visits to those sites, and they will leave the place, they will abandon the site. How would this work and solve the problem? I think the government should not lose focus on declaring a state of emergency, and they should stop peddling the falsehood. They should stop peddling the falsehood. And I've heard many elephant and umbrella elements pushing this narrative. They should stop that. It's not true. With the current constitutional
let me come to
it does not work.
Let me go to AB first, and before you deal with the issues that he's raised. I mean, the critics are saying that when they read the secretary say that they want to harness collective expertise. The secretary to the president, the letter that he wrote to the various groups. He says that the dialogue between the government and civil society on the menace of illegal mining with a view to harnessing collective expertise, perspectives, and solutions. They say that we've all talked about Galamsey for so long. Even last year, your political party, while campaigning, you said that the other government was not doing well, and that when you take over, in fact, some elements even said that within a week, the president can deal with the illegal mining menace. How are we harnessing after 8 months in office?
Have you realized that anybody you bring onto this table has a solution differently from another person?
Absolutely.
So don't you harness all of it? That's all. This your long winding question. I've used seconds to answer it.
but the fact remains that after 8 months.
Yes.
After 8 months.
Yes.
When you have, especially when just in fact a couple of weeks ago, the point was being made that we are on track. We are dealing with the menace. If you remember during the president's address, he says we've not finished utilizing the powers that we have. Then civil society pressure comes in. So your problem
is that why are we on track and then we are calling for that? Is that what you're asking?
Well, you can put it that way if you want, but the question still remains about...
So if we are on track, we shouldn't ask for more what do you say?
No, not necessarily. We can always do that.
Yeah, because the biggest room in the world is a room of improvement. So that's what. Now, see, this matter, 2 people or 5 people died yesterday at the Galamsey site. You would have thought that this would scare the Galamseyers from going back to that place. But they've seen this all. They've seen it. For them, you see, that community is an underground community. And they are in a well of themselves. It's an underground world. For them, they interpret those deaths to mean that the land, the soil, needs blood so that you can have more gold. It can produce more gold. So these are their colleagues who have sacrificed themselves. So you will never see the deaths occurring at the site being a disincentive for them to go back. They will still go back there. But I am happy because I think I was one of the leading people who said that we should declare water bodies and forest zones, security zones. I think I was one of the first. and cited South Africa and said that in South Africa, water bodies are declared as security zones. Yes. So I'm happy that that has happened. Those who are asking for powers for state of emergency, I'm going to give you an example. My father's house in Bolga is close to a dam called McLean Dam. Let's assume that they do Galamsey at the McLean Dam. This old man is like 84, 85. He can't even walk there to even view what is happening, let alone to participate. You create a state of emergency because his house is close to a dam, his rights are curtailed. Powers is saying that because under constitutional rule, you are restrained by the Constitution, and so proportionality will prevail. When the soldier or the policeman is shooting, he doesn't care about proportionality. Before you come to court and you argue this proportionality, they have shot somebody, he's dead. That's what we are talking about. That under a state of emergency, people, and we are not pygmies, we don't live in the forest, we live away from the forest. This mining is taking place in the forest. How about those in the community who don't have anything to do with the forest? Why should the conduct of some people in the forest affect those in the communities? That's why we are restraining the use of this state of emergency. People will be caught up who have no business with these Galamsey things. But if you go and station soldiers, you create a barracks, or what do they call it? Is it a barracks? A camp at the mouth of the forest. Now, if you are a man, enter. That is the way to deal with it. Because your concern is not the entire community. Your concern is that forest area. Your concern is that water body area. So why would you extend any what do you want? What do you say? Any mishap to members of the community when there are some there, majority of them who are farmers, would have nothing to do. And if you know the Galamsey sites, majority of those who are engaged are from other parts of the country, and even from Burkina Faso, who are in that place. They are not indigenous. So please, Powers, this is your state of emergency. Let's think about it carefully before we zero in on it.
I mean, but the point he makes about, and it keeps coming up, whenever we have the conversation, there's an assumption that would mean that there will not be any due process, assuming there's a declaration of a state of emergency. Because, for instance, the example you gave about shooting, I don't think a state of emergency necessarily means that if you are moving in the area, they just shoot at you. It can't mean that.
I'm saying that when state of emergency is declared, people's fundamental human rights are curtailed.
In terms of movement?
Yes, in terms of movement. So why should that even be? Let's even assume that is it. Why should that even be? That my 85-year-old father, why should he be restrained from moving to go and get his medicines? It is not going to be, when you declare a state of emergency, it's not going to be work as usual or the usual things. Some fundamental human rights will be curtailed. And I'm saying that if that happens, people who are not connected to the Galamsey menace will be affected. We need to respect minority rights. If you are doing company law, if it's minority, you know, you did it. You too. He has done it. If the entire community is doing Galamsey, but that one person's right must also be enjoyed, must be protected. So let's look at the issue of declaring, and I'm happy the Minister for Lands announced it. Forest zones, water bodies are now security zones. Let's see now who will go inside. And again, if you declare state of emergency, you people, journalists like this, you can't have free movement to even go and see. What if those who are engaged in the state of emergency are the ones who are even mining inside? Because you are blocked from coming in. Access.
In fact, someone also said that the security zones achieve the same thing because, you know, a few years ago, they were told that people cannot protest around Jubilee because it was a security zone.
Yeah.
So the argument they make is that the same thing, we can't go and even check the state of the water bodies.
Why?
That's
your colleagues are there. Some of your colleagues are there. You are afraid. You are not doing that type of journalism.
We go there.
I'm saying that you are not the type of journalist, because People can go to the community, stay there, and know what is happening in the forest. They call them what? Manasseh Azor and what are they? Investigative journalists. At least we have those people who can go. But if you just do it, state of emergency,
Not like a blaze suit. He can go, right?
Okay, let me come to Prof now. I mean, Prof, from a governance angle, very good meeting taking place today.
Yes. Let me say that be sure to tell everyone that Ghana's rare gold are not the ones in the ground. It is the people who are the gold. So you destroy water bodies in search of gold by destroying your people. The rare gold of our country is our people. And if we are destroying water bodies and poisoning our food, now we are told that kontomire, food crops, they are all poison, cabbages and carrots. And so very soon we are going to annihilate ourselves. We are all going to die because that is the path we decided to go in search of gold. Now, I like the question asked that the CEOs, the CSOs and all those coming in, will it bring finality to the issue of Galamsey? I think the answer is no, but it is a good attempt. I do that from Isaiah 1:18 when God said, "Come, let's reason together." Now, as a Christian, I had to go deeper into why God is calling everybody to come and let's reason together. And I found out that it was a divine invitation to discuss, debate, and find understanding through rational conversation, even amid profound disagreement. So if God is calling us to come and reason together, then it behooves on the president doing the right thing by calling all CSOs, say, come and let's reason together. Now, that is a divine invitation. Two, we are going to discuss, we are going to debate, we are going to find understanding through rational conversation, even amid profound disagreements. So there are a lot of profound disagreements about which way should we go in solving it. Either we go with emergency, whether we go with security zones. Well, the Jubilee House here has been declared a security zone. You dare not go there. Now people can walk in there, but it was, even now it's a security zone.
It's still a security zone.
I have an invitation. I've been asked by a lot of people to come and visit them. Yes, they have to know at the gate who you are going to visit, and the person will come and meet you and take you there. Also, you have to go and sign your name, and be given a tag because it's a security zone. They are protecting the presidency and our leaders. Now, I remember in the early 2000s, I was a morning show host on radio. And then, I'm bringing this example so that we'll understand the perspective of it. Then, that time, the biggest issue was Galamsey. No, the chainsaw operators in our woods. And I remember there is this uncle of Nanado called Nanaya Gorgisbeck. I think he's still there. He's an old man. But he was a Council of State member appointed by Kufuor. Yeah, Gorgisbeck. So he came to me and then we talked. I went to the Tiwa forest with him because we had chainsaw operators. And then we went there, we talked about how we can stop these chainsaw operators from operating in that place. And I remember we went to Ochehene House, the palace and all those. But then the next day something occurred to me that if we can solve the problem, then why not bring the chainsaw operators themselves to the studio to talk about their part of the story. And the funny thing is, when I brought them, they said, we will never stop this chainsaw operation because that is our only source of livelihood. And if any forest commission person comes there, we will cut their head into pieces and cut their legs because that is the only way we survive. So now I'm asking the same question. Are we going to invite these Galamsey boys to be part of this meeting? We should. We should, because they are the ones directly involved in what they are doing. So they should tell us why they are doing it.
Invite criminals to partake?
No, there's a reason why I did that, and it solved the problem. You see, they are doing it every day, and no matter security zone, no matter the emergency, they will find a path to go and do the Galamsey. So let's bring them together and ask them, what can we do to help you to solve that? I've talked about alternative source of livelihood. Okay, alternative source of livelihood. They are not mining responsibly, but this country depends on gold. This whole country depends on these gold resources. Now, when they take the gold, the illegal Galamsey, ask me, where do they sell it? Don't they have routes that they sell it? Yeah. So it finds itself into the system. I don't know whether it goes to the gold board, whatever, but it finds itself into the system. Now, the government cannot drill boreholes for them because once they mine, I was thinking from the beginning that they will not mine go through water bodies and then by the roadside. Because we know from Osiem and Konongo areas there, the roadside are also being mined. Yeah. So avoid the roads and then avoid the water bodies. But then, when they, gather this sand and everything illegally, they also need water to wash it. And government cannot drill boreholes for them everywhere. So they will still go to the water bodies. And that is what we have to prevent. So let's find a way so that they can have one alternate sort of livelihood. Because if a nurse is not being paid for 10 months, and somebody goes to do galamsey and every day he'll get about 500 cedis, of course he will do that. And we cannot solve this issue with violence. No. You can kill everybody, the rest who are still alive will go because they don't have any source of livelihood and man must eat. So we should find a way, jobs. What, from number 1 to 56, jobs. Let's find jobs for these guys so that they will find an alternative source of livelihood instead of going to the woods or the forest to mine. And I think that if you go to the Eastern African countries and they have the safaris, go to Tanzania, go to Kenya, nobody dares goes to, poach a lion or an elephant or anything because those are security zones. And the forest guards will shoot you and kill you. I watched in the Pygmies in Congo where there was a Dutch woman coming in there as an anthropologist to do research in the forest, the Congo Basin. And then the Pygmies are short people who are in the Congo Basins. And they put their ears to the ground. Civilization has changed a lot of things. So they put their ears to the ground and said that there is a poacher who tried to kill an elephant. The elephant is coming 5 miles away. So everybody should run. Now, this woman decided not to run. All the Pygmies were running to find a hiding place. She climbed a tree. And then when the elephant is moving like that, because the elephant is distressed, everything gets down. It got to the tree. The elephant looked at the top and saw the woman and brought the woman down, pushed the tree down, and stepped on the woman and killed her. But those who have lived there knows how to do it because if an elephant is coming and you pretend like you are dead, the elephant will use the ear to push you around. If you don't move, it will never step on you. They know how nature works. So these guys who are going to the bush, that is what they know how. It's like somebody born at the sea places. When I was at the University of Cape Coast, every day they go to the sea. The way they jump themselves to the sea, sometimes a week, 2 weeks they are there. And then when they come, the way they pull their net, that's all they know in their lives. So if you want to stop them from doing that, then you have to give them alternative source of livelihood. And that is what we've not been able to do. But to tell them that stop, and then they will not have anything to eat, then we are calling for armed robbery to increase because they will find a way to eat. That's human nature. We always find a way to survive. So let's find alternative source of livelihood for these guys. I am saying that even if government do not invite them today to the CSO meetings, government should find a way to meet focus groups of all these galamsey people and ask them, what can we do to help you so that you also stop? And I think that doing that, it will help a lot.
Okay. Let's do some messages and wrap up the conversation. This one here from Mansa Musa, you say that on the galamsey,
I know him very well. He's at UK.
The excuses are getting too much. If state of emergency is not appropriate, then whatever it takes to make the situation better is what is required. That's all that needs to be done. And this one from landlord Borga D-Line, you say that the law is being repealed, mining licenses granted to cronies are being revoked, forest and water bodies are now security zones. You have no right to complain when you have defecated on yourself and someone is wiping your mess. In my regards to my boss, Maleba Upper East Region is proud of him. That is coming from Borga D-Line. Musa Abatua here, you say that employment issues often arise during election years due to last-minute recruitments by government. A law should be enacted to prevent new public sector employments or appointments in election years to ensure fairness and financial discipline. And so that is your message as well there. Let's do a final round. And maybe I'll start with your direct question. What do you expect to happen for which, if it happens, you say that the engagement that will take place today has been a success?
First and foremost, today should be the last time that we are convening to talk about galamsey. That today, if we distill the factors or the key issues, we should go into implementation and then we want results. Don't forget the last government did one in Kumasi when the Asantehene told them that he knows all those who are doing the galamsey here.
Yes.
We can't continue doing conferences. Today should be the mother of all the conferences. And that when we arrive at a conclusion and we distill the issues, quickly we must begin to implement the decisions of the committee of this program. The other thing too is that we need to sing from the same hymn book. And that is why I think this conference is being called. So that if the government is not implementing, I don't want to hear a civil society sitting somewhere and criticizing. And the implementation should not be left to only government. Just as our government has brought all the civil society together, the implementation should also include them. That's for me. And then also lastly, there must be a political will to deal with the issue. And I hope this government would have it to deal with the issue. I am not saying that people who are seeking for jobs should not be given jobs. And that's why I concur with Prof's issue of alternative livelihoods. Because it is true that some people just know what they are doing as their job. And so if you don't provide them another, livelihood, it will be difficult for them to survive. So this for me are the things we should do. Last time we are meeting again on this matter, civil society organizations should now be part of the implementation of any decision taken. Civil society organizations should not begin to criticize when government is implementing those same issues. And then alternative livelihood for the people.
Okay. Austin, what are the benchmarks that you expect to be the yardstick that you assess this engagement?
Yeah, Joseph, I think I have said that this engagement is very important and significant, and I want to laud the president for this initiative. First, they must publish the resolution, the outcome of the meeting. I want the government to publish it so that all of us will track the progress. Secondly, the government must not end this engagement here. They need to bring on board the political parties, engage them, because we are aware, we know some of their members are engaged in this illegal mining. They should bring them on board so that, as what AB said, we won't have them pushing for different narrative outside or in the media. We all need everybody on board. Thirdly, Joe, we need to set up a consultative review and monitoring committee after this engagement. A consultative review and monitoring committee to review the progress periodically, particularly maybe every 6 months. And that committee must compose of not only government officials, but CSOs and political parties, so that we collectively can track the progress of this. And let me end with this. I have noted that the MPP recently is taking the flag for waking up to the scale of galamsey in this country. I think people are genuine to criticize the MPP for now trying to champion the
now we see officials traveling across the country showing us water bodies. When few months ago, I remember there was a protest. The youth organizer mobilized a counter-protest to tell the people to move away from the protest sites.
No, so I'm saying that it is good Ghanaians are criticizing them, but it is also good that they are waking up to the scale of the massive mess they left behind. But this is my question to them.
I like that.
It's
good you are saying that.
This is my question to them. They must not be more Catholic than the Pope. They must not be crying more than we, the Ghanaians. They must be measured and know that whatever they are doing, they must do to support the government. We have brought this government in power to solve the mess that they created. So they must be measured in what they say, and they must not pontificate.
Yes.
As if they know what is right. When they had opportunity, they didn't do what we expected them to do. So they should keep what they are doing, and we will encourage them to do what they are doing, but they must not be more Catholic than the Pope.
Okay. Prof, I'll give you the final word.
Yes, I'm just reading a research by Dr. Ike Mensah, who has published a lot on this galamsey. And he stated some things. He works for the Center for Scientific Research in Famsia, and he's a very good friend. He sent this, and he talked about the underlying cause of artisanal mining. And then he said that the underlying problems, one is economic. And he talked about poverty and unemployment in the mining communities. And then two, he said it's social, and that is marginalization of people in mining communities and the right of the people to seek justice by digging for survival. Three, he talked about institutional problems, which is lengthy waits, erroneous requirements, and bureaucracies for miners to obtain new licenses. And then he talked about technological problems, which he says advancement in the AMS industry through the use of large equipment. And then the last was political, which he stated involvement on political figures and big men in Galamsey. Now, I agree with him in all that he said. So we have to tackle it from the economic front, from the social front, from the institutional front, from the political front, and then finally from making sure that we are all involved in this process. So if we undermine our own existence through gold, and I want to end by what I said from the beginning. I'm told that today is Alan Martin's birthday. Ebo sent that one to me. So happy birthday to him. And I want to say that the rare gold, again, of this nation is the people, not the gold that we are digging from the ground. So if we destroy our water bodies, then we are destroying our gold, which is the people. And we should all be concerned about that.
All right.
I want to also congratulate the new judges, you know. Some of them max time, Court of Appeal judges. Some of them stayed in the High Court for very long. And so,
because of politics?
Well, I don't know. So I think that the right thing has been done. Domahene is one of them. Then my Lord Justice Olivia is also one of them. She stayed there for a very long time. And I think it is right and proper that they go to, and they are one of the finest judges. I've appeared before the two of them, and I know what they can do.
Damahene is Justice Daniel Mensah.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know him as such. Just before we go, we just received this statement coming from Junior Doctors Association Ghana. Withdrawal of service by Junior Doctors Association of Ghana. The Junior Doctors Association of Ghana announces that its members will embark on a nationwide withdrawal of services following months of neglect and unfair treatment of some of its members. Over 200 junior doctors have worked for 10 to 14 months without salaries. Moreover, several medical officers who were previously on payroll have had their salaries stopped without explanation. We also have over 800 medical officers who have been awaiting a posting for the past 1 year, 4 months. And despite repeated engagements with authorities and goodwill shown towards the government, no solutions have been offered. The Junior Doctors Association therefore directs as follows, that all members should, 1, withdraw all outpatient services effective Tuesday, 7th October to Thursday, 9th October, and 2, withdraw emergency services effective Friday, 10th October 2025 until further notice. However, inpatients will continue to be managed until discharge, but no new cases will be admitted. The association wishes to make it clear that the continued exploitation of junior doctors will no longer be tolerated. And the responsibility for any disruption of healthcare service lies squarely with the Ministry of Health and the government of Ghana. We call on all stakeholders to act immediately. And it's signed by Dr. Med Louis Ifia Nkrumah. I hope I got that right. The signatures cover the part of the name there. And Dr. Med Rhoda Wunam Amadu, General Secretary of the Junior Doctors Association. Prof, very brief comments and let's go.
Yeah, this demonstration everywhere is coming from the health sector. I don't know, it's scary, very scary. If you go to the hospital and junior doctors are not there, and I don't even know why in Ghana we have senior officers, senior members, senior doctors and junior doctors. They are all doctors. Why do we let posts like that? They are all doctors. You are all your colleagues. Whether you were a senior, you finished 30 years ago, somebody finished today, you are all colleagues. We like posts too much in Africa. Look, I think the government must sit down with all these blocks and then work with them. Nurses, junior doctors, I don't know if senior doctors will come and Tewu will come and Gawa, and we have a lot of these coming in. And I think that government should sit with them, be proactive. We don't have to wait until they declare that they are going on strike. Then we scramble, go meet them and talk to them. They have to be very proactive and talk to them and then calm the waters because this is too much. I cannot even process it.
Austin.
Joseph, there are cracks in the health sector. I think it didn't start with what we are witnessing. Don't forget the nurses. Some months away, you remember they withdrew their services because they were not giving their enhanced salary or package. I think the government must focus its attention on the health sector and have a meeting, consultative meeting with them to find out. The problem may be legacy. It may be a legacy issue. So we need to solve the problem. And the government must do that right now.
I mean, Abi, when you hear the doctors say that despite repeated engagement with authorities and goodwill shown towards the government, no solutions have been offered. I mean, it's a problem. We shouldn't get to this point, and you'll have to now embark on this action before. I mean, between now and Tuesday, there's still a bit of time.
I think, I don't want to say something, but you see, if you had your problems 14 months ago when this government was not there, then the government has come. Why do you embark on strike when it's just, this government is not 1 year yet? And there are a lot of things to fix. You see? So rather than embarking on strike, why don't you continue to Jojo call for meetings, and then if after 1 year, because I know that the finance minister will begin to roll out things next year. Even my place, where I am, I have not received my budget.
Really?
Yes, that's why you have so many accidents like that. Yes, and my work is to reduce accidents.
Yes.
You know, my road safety.
So if I die, it's on you.
So
I guess you are not going to do the project that you want to do.
We can't do the project that we want to do.
What
They should exercise patience. 1 year. This, what the finance minister told, what I heard was that let's stabilize the economy. Then next year, things will begin. He will begin to release funds to all those areas.
Okay.
So I think that the doctors and their leadership should understand that this government just took over 1 year now. It's not up to 1 year. They are putting in place mechanisms. If you call for a pound of flesh, he calls for his pound of flesh. We are going to throw the economy into disarray.
But there's a bigger problem that discussion we have to have, because I mean, over 200 doctors have worked 10 to 14 months without salaries. That's a big
This
problem.
government is not up to. That's what I'm saying, that this government is not up to 10 months.
Okay.
You got your employment from the previous government, and we all know how this economy was until this finance minister came in to stabilize the economy. Your dollar is now fine. Your fuel is fine. Your interest, your whatever rate, your inflation is fine. Next year,
all right,
things will be fine.
I think the government. I understand what AB is saying. The government must communicate those mechanisms to them.
I think
Don't forget that they are saying
I
that.
think so. Government is not
They
communicating.
are saying that they've given the government goodwill and they've given an opportunity. Tell them.
Yes, I mean, they make that point.
But we also know it's very expensive for that backlog of payments. So if you're going to pay somebody 10 months back pay or 14 months back pay, it's more expensive than paying them every month.
Well, but on the flip side, their value of money may not even be the same. And they're already in debt and everything. So it comes down
to communication. Tell them. If you cannot pay them in bulk, you tell them we'll pay you in trenches.
Yes, so every quarter we'll pay you this.
Communicate to them.
Yes.
I mean, let's see how government resolves all these very important matters. My guest this morning have been Professor Enoch Opoku-Antwi, a governance and policy analyst. Austin Bracco Powers is a legal practitioner, and Abraham Amaliba is Director General at National Road Safety Authority, also a legal practitioner and member of the National Democratic Congress. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we have sports, but as usual, we tell you all the time, if you want to look smart and fashionable, all you have to do is to visit any Woodin boutique nationwide today. Woodin offers an amazing collection of authentic African fabrics and ready-to-wear that come in beautiful designs and colors for men and women. With Woodin, you can get creative and versatile with your designs. Be confident and show off how truly African you are in Woodin. Go to a Woodin boutique near you today and choose from a variety of trendy products to complement your unique style. You can follow Woodin Fashion on Facebook, Instagram at Woodin Fashion, and TikTok at Woodin_fashion. We'll have our first draw for the cash out after sports. We are giving away 1K, that's 1,000 cedis to 10 individuals. And like Roland tells you all the times, the game of probabilities. So when you dial the relevant code, *439#, follow the prompt and pick the favorite platform. That is option 2, and follow through with that. And the tickets at least 30. That increases the likelihood of your number being selected. And so we'll have the first draw right after the break. We'll be right back with the very latest in the world of sports, including building up to the big Ghana Premier League games coming up this weekend.